Have we just witnessed the beginning of Theo Silverton's downfall? Or is Weatherfield about to face its darkest race against time yet? Because after months of manipulation, psychological torture, fear, and silence, Todd Grimshaw finally reaches his breaking point. He's covered in blood. He's terrified. He's barely holding himself together. But for the first time, he's ready to tell the truth. The only question is, has he waited too long? Welcome back to Coronation Street Update, where we break down every shocking twist, hidden clue, and emotional moment from the biggest storylines on the cobbles. Today's episode isn't just another spoiler. It's the moment everything changes. Because Theo Silverton's carefully constructed world is beginning to collapse. But dangerous people rarely go down without a fight. For months, viewers have watched Todd become a shadow of the man he once was. His confidence disappeared. His smile faded. His friends noticed something wasn't right. Yet nobody truly understood the nightmare he was living. Theo didn't need fists to destroy Todd. He used fear, isolation, manipulation, control. Every conversation, every decision, every part of Todd's life slowly became something Theo owned. That's what makes coercive abuse so terrifying. The bruises aren't always visible. The deepest wounds exist inside someone's mind. But then everything changes. The week begins with Summer Spellman carrying a question she can't ignore. Carl Webster's mysterious comments about Billy Mayhew's death continue haunting her thoughts. What if Billy's death wasn't simply an accident? What if Theo was involved? The possibility is horrifying. Yet Summer refuses to ignore her instincts. Instead of staying silent, she confronts Theo herself. It's an incredibly risky decision. Because confronting someone capable of manipulation means stepping directly into their game. But Summer needs answers. Unfortunately, what she discovers only makes the situation even more frightening. Theo and Todd are suddenly preparing to leave Weatherfield. Belfast. Immediately. No warning. No proper goodbye. Just disappear. For Summer, the timing feels deeply suspicious. Is Theo running away? Or is he trying to make sure Todd can never escape his control again? That question becomes impossible to ignore. Summer rushes to find Todd. He tells him everything. She admits her growing fear that Theo may have been responsible for Billy's death. It's an explosive accusation. One that could change everything. But Todd barely has time to process it. Because behind closed doors, his own nightmare is getting worse. Sarah Platt quickly hears about Todd's sudden move. Something doesn't feel right. Neither does George Shuttleworth. Together with Summer, they head straight to Todd's flat. They're determined to find answers. They hear Theo. Calm, confident, completely in control. Speaking through the intercom, Theo casually claims they're already leaving for Belfast. Todd, he says, is simply paying for petrol. Seems believable. Except, it's a lie. A chilling lie. Because the real Todd isn't outside at all. He's trapped. Locked inside his own bedroom. Held prisoner inside his own home. And suddenly the horrifying reality becomes clear. Theo isn't protecting Todd. He's imprisoning him. Psychologically, this may be one of Theo's darkest moments yet. Abusers thrive when their victims become isolated. When nobody can verify the truth. When every conversation passes through them first. Theo speaking through that intercom isn't just another lie. It's total domination. He's speaking for Todd. Controlling Todd. Erasing Todd's own voice. It's disturbing. And heartbreakingly realistic. Eventually, Theo makes one critical mistake. He agrees to let Todd contact Sarah. Only because he wants to strengthen the lie. Todd convinces Sarah that everything is fine. His voice sounds convincing. Almost too convincing. But that's exactly what trauma often looks like. Victims frequently protect their abusers. Not because they want to. Because they've been conditioned to survive. But then, everything changes again. Theo heads into the shower. For the first time, Todd is alone. Only for a few precious minutes. It's now. Or never. Every second feels like an eternity. Todd knows that if Theo catches him, the consequences could be devastating. But staying means surrendering his future forever. So he runs. No plan. No guarantee. Only instinct. Only survival. It's one of the bravest decisions Todd has ever made. Because escaping abuse isn't simply opening a door. It's overcoming months of fear telling you that escape is impossible. Meanwhile, Sarah and Kit Green are talking when an unexpected knock interrupts everything. Someone desperately needs help. And before long, the horrifying truth begins spilling into the open. Later that week, we witness one of the most emotional scenes Coronation Street has delivered in months. Todd walks into the police station. He's covered in blood. His body tells one story. His eyes tell another. Those eyes reveal months of terror. Months of shame. Months of believing nobody would believe him. Finally, he sits opposite Lisa Swain and Kit Green. And he speaks. Everything. The assaults. The manipulation. The emotional abuse. The physical violence. Every horrifying detail Theo tried so desperately to bury. It's not just a police statement. It's Todd taking back his voice. Psychologically, this is the beginning of healing. Not because the pain disappears, but because silence finally ends. Many abuse survivors describe speaking out as both terrifying and liberating. They're frightened nobody will believe them, yet exhausted from carrying the burden alone. Todd reaches exactly that point. He's no longer protecting Theo. He's protecting himself. And that's an enormous emotional victory. But that may not be the whole truth. Because Theo now knows the game is over. His secrets have escaped before he has. That makes him incredibly dangerous. People like Theo rarely accept consequences peacefully. They panic. They manipulate. They lash out. Or, they run. And according to spoilers, leaving Weatherfield suddenly becomes Theo's only priority. But escaping won't be easy anymore. His abuse is no longer hidden. The street knows. His lies are falling apart. The walls are closing in. The biggest question now isn't whether Theo is guilty. It's whether justice can catch him before he disappears forever. Lisa Swain and Kit Green suddenly find themselves racing against time. If they move quickly, Theo could finally face justice. If they hesitate, he could vanish, leaving Todd with unanswered trauma instead of closure. And that's what makes next week's episodes feel so explosive. This isn't simply about an arrest. It's about whether survivors finally get the justice they've been denied. There's another emotional layer many viewers may overlook. Todd doesn't simply report Theo because he's angry. He reports him because someone else gave him courage. Summer's fears. Sarah's concern. George refusing to ignore the warning signs. Each small act reminded Todd that people still cared. That he wasn't alone. Sometimes that's all someone needs. One person believing them. One opportunity to speak. One moment of hope. Here's my prediction. I don't think Theo's story ends quietly. In fact, I think exposing him publicly will make him even more unpredictable. He may try one final manipulation. One final lie. Or even one final desperate act before police catch up with him. But regardless of what happens next, Todd has already won the most important battle. Theo no longer controls his silence. And once an abuser loses that power, everything begins to collapse. So now I want to hear your theories. Do you think Theo will be arrested before he escapes Weatherfield? Was Summer right to suspect him over Billy's death? Will Todd finally get the justice he deserves? And do you think Lisa and Kit will act quickly enough? Or is Theo about to disappear before anyone can stop him? Drop your predictions in the comments below because this storyline is building towards one of the biggest confrontations we've seen all year. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Coronation Street update. We'll be following every twist, every betrayal, and every shocking revelation as Theo's reign of terror reaches its explosive conclusion. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep watching because in Weatherfield, the darkest secrets always come to light.